All right, okay. So now this is going to be an overview of the quarterfinals. We had like quite a few good games in the quarterfinals. I'm thinking, should we? Let me check up which game we actually started with. Oh, it was. Oh yeah, yeah. So it was France and Morocco. Uh, what were your opinions on the game?
I have to say, France was too much for Morocco to deal with. You could see that from the start. And the thing is, I'm not surprised with France. They have a powerhouse. Like, they have so much quality to rely on. If one person, let's say Dembele has a bad day, Mbappe is there, this is there. It's like, it was too much for Morocco. And I think Morocco did not know how to handle France. Right. I think it was just too much. And I have to think France, I see them as champions elect because they're just too good.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it was really
At least,
one-sided. It was like a
yeah,
lot
but
more
I've seen
one-sided than I thought
Morocco.
it was gonna. Like Morocco offered next to nothing. I mean, like
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's the first
yeah,
time I see them in the whole competition. Like, no answers.
it
So,
didn't even feel like they gave it a go. Like they just kind of.
no, they didn't.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I was
Hakimi was
disappointed with them.
poor. Diaz was poor. They were missing obviously their striker, who has been their best player in the
Yeah, but
tournament. But
you can't use that as an excuse
this,
because
yeah,
at the end of the day, there's a team made of 11 players. So, okay, one is injured, but what about the other ones then? It's like, I'm sorry, but Morocco, this is not the first time in the World Cup, but this is for the second time.
yeah,
They could have built from last one, and I was disappointed that they didn't
yeah. No, I
because
mean, like
they were capable. At least take it to extra time or something. But I feel like they didn't give anything.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, that's like we said, it was just a one-sided game. They offered
Yeah.
nothing. It was basically France. France didn't even need to be that good because Morocco
No,
was
they
just that
didn't. And
bad.
you know what? Have you seen that the second half? They even sort of stepped back a little bit. They could have scored
Mm,
more if they wanted to, but the wise thing for them was like, let's keep our energy because they knew the outcome of Belgium or Spain would be a trickier game.
yeah.
No disrespect to Morocco, but you need your energy for those type of games, like when it gets tougher, because they are powerhouse, and for me, I don't really see anyone stepping in the way. Like nothing in the bank, we kept going, and
For France, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's so much things going on them at the moment. Former minister of Spain, he
Mm,
said, have a tough opponent, but I don't recognize any French players in the team. And I'm thinking, the more they're doing this to France, the more they're gonna do the talking on the pitch. Because right now, I don't know if the mind games they're playing. I don't know if it's pure racism. I don't really know what's going on. But I'm thinking, even the ministers of France even said, look, we have 26 players, 23 were born in France, three have the French passport. We have a French squad. I don't think we have somebody like, let's say, a foreigner, and oh yeah, by the way, come and play for France. But I'm thinking this this issue with representation is just getting out of hand, and I'm so glad with the French team that they don't respond to it. They don't like, oh, just whatever, whatever. They just get on what they have to get on with. And I don't know if you're familiar with France, but what you see on the pitch, this is what France is like today. If you go to Paris right now, you see the majority a lot of black players, Arabic, black people, Arabic people. I know because I've been there, and it's not white. I don't know. The people need to go there, spend time there, and then you realize, oh yeah, France is like that. So it's a shame that we keep on having this, not even focusing on the performance, but having this talk about, origin and stuff like that. And I'm glad they don't, yeah, they don't answer back. They just see what they're doing. And I'm so proud of them, like the maturity they just give. That's what real people do.
Yeah, and I mean, back to the game as well. Of course, there wasn't much in the game really because it was so one-sided. But we saw Kylian Mbappe, of course, again taking over another game. I don't. It wasn't like his best performance of the tournament, but yet again he kind of delivered for France. He scored, he assisted, he basically
Yeah, no,
got them through.
okay, you said it wasn't his
And
best game, right? He scored and assisted.
yeah,
And
I mean like
even
as an
when we
overall
look,
game, because we saw in the first half.
I still not. One thing I agree with you, but when you have a star quality like that, you can afford bad games and still perform.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was trying to say. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And like, in the first half, Mbappe missed a penalty. That was one of the only real talking points in the game was he got a penalty and then he had to wait 3 minutes and 12 seconds, I think, to take it.
yeah,
Just like a
yeah,
ridiculously long wait. I don't know why. And
I don't
he,
get it too.
yeah, it was I mean, it looked a clear penalty to me, and the referee gave it immediately. So I don't know why there was such a prolonged period. He did this stutter run up, which has led to a lot of missed penalties as well. I don't know if you have an opinion on that on the stutter run up. Whether you think maybe players should just run up to a penalty and just put their foot through it instead of this finesse stuff.
No, no. The thing is, like, you still have to wait for the referee. You can't just do your own thing.
Yeah.
So it's a game, but referee pretty much has to control the game. Otherwise, it just be a match.
Yeah, I mean the break, the 3 minutes was ridiculously long. I
No,
mean,
it
even
was.
for a player like
That
Mbappe,
was.
it's a
I
long
don't get
time.
it. I didn't get it,
Yeah,
and I don't know why we were not offered any explanation.
no, I mean, it just adds to the I guess poor refereeing of the tournament. I actually made a video on that game, and I had I had a long comment debate with somebody on Dembele's performances. I personally have think as a whole across this entire tournament, he hasn't had a elite or like a very
Yeah,
good tournament.
no,
I
you're right.
the argument was he felt that Dembele had a good tournament, but I felt he apart aside from half an hour against Norway, he hasn't looked like a potential Ballon
The
d'Or
one cup.
favorite or
Yeah, yeah.
do you know what I
I
mean?
agree.
I've looked at the stats. Of course, I've watched all the games, and I've just he doesn't beat his man. He doesn't, because of course on the he doesn't have success. I don't know if you. I'll guess. So guess how many dribbles. If you were to guess how many dribbles Dembele has had across this entire World
On
Cup.
the okay, if I guess, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not
Yeah,
too sure.
it's 5 dribbles. He has had five across the entire World Cup.
Wow, is that it?
And he's had like and it's on a 42% success rate, so he's not even like he's like less
Hmm.
than
Hmm.
so
He
he,
hasn't
yeah,
even.
and that's what I'm saying. So he's not beating players. He's not of course not providing too much space for Dembele for Mbappe and Elise because that the defenders gravitate towards Mbappe and Elise, you know and aside from that half an hour against Norway, and it was really Norway's B team because of how many changes they made. I
Yeah,
personally
the
felt he
first
hasn't had a
week. Yeah.
standout club. I don't know if you have any differing opinion.
Listen, the thing. You know what? I have to say. Funny because I have to go back to the Portugal thing. I feel like players in Portugal team they play better for the club than the team, and it shows. I'm gonna be honest. When you mentioned the belly, I feel the same way. I feel like with Paris Saint Germain, he's used to that team. It's like he's used to who he's playing with and the manner of play, like the style of play. And France, I feel like it's not used to it yet.
It's a different
But
because to be fair to him, on PSG he plays centrally, whereas for France he's playing out wide. But I still
yeah,
feel for a player that people think is one of the best players in the world, what he's produced at the World Cup
no,
just isn't enough, in my
it's
opinion.
not.
I don't think
No,
he's had a
no. For
good World
me,
Cup.
no.
Personally.
I think for me, those leading goal scorers, let's say whether Argentina, whether France wins it, they deserve the Ballon d'Or.
That's
Because
one.
simply,
Yeah, and I
yeah,
mean, when we think of the players who really shone at this World Cup, we think we've mentioned Mbappe. We'll get to players like Messi, Bellingham, Harry Kane, Olise. Dembele doesn't fall into that category for me. Even
no,
though he's regarded so highly. in world football. I just don't think he's
Yeah,
had.
yeah. They even said that. Oh, imagine, right? He wins the World Cup. That's the first time somebody wins 3 World Cups, 3 Ballon d'Ors, and they're already doing all of that stuff. I'm thinking,
And he's
can you
not
not
even
wait?
his
Yeah,
team's second best player.
yeah. Like basically wait until the World Cup. The Ballon d'Or. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I think Mbappe
Yeah,
is faster to win. Mbappe, oh, listen, one of the two.
I agree.
Mbappe more likely.
Yeah, because I feel like with this France team, it really is Mbappe's team. It's not a one man team, but it's you get the feeling it's Mbappe's team. I just
When you look at Mbappe, Real
exactly,
Madrid, he plays excellent.
exactly, yeah.
Even though the team didn't have success, but my man is still turning up
Individually,
those
he's
goals.
still
He's
the best
amazing.
in the
And
world.
France,
Yeah,
same thing. Like
yeah.
the thing that I like about Mbappe, it doesn't matter what he plays. My man
It
turns
doesn't
up
matter the
with the
situation.
goals.
He's always going to
It
score.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and I mean,
Exactly.
we talk about it like the numbers and all of that. I think with Dembele, it's a perfect example of how the numbers are deceiving because I think he has what 5 goals, maybe an assist or couple assists, and I just think his performance doesn't reflect that much. And
No.
like we
And I
said,
think
the
he knows
majority of
himself.
those goals came in a game against Norway's B team when the group was pretty much decided. It decided that France were
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through. So
But you know what? Dembele, I'm sure he knows that no performance is best. But you know what? At the end of the day, wouldn't you be able to afford it when you have a team as
yeah,
excellent as
that's
France?
and I mean that's why it
Like,
works. That's why it kind of works out for him. And that's why it gets brushed up on because he's got two other teammates who are performing at an elite level in Mbappe and Olise.
right now, for me, the partnership for Olise and Mbappe is the one. You can see that this team dominating, Euros, next World Cup, because them two, they're still young. And trust me, this is just a good relationship. I'm loving watching them play together. I feel like they can reach that team so well. And them two, no, honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that Olise chose the wrong.
yeah, it's
People like
great.
other people in England, but the system work right now is way.
Yeah, I think without a doubt France suits him better. The next game we got was Spain and Belgium, 2-1 to Spain. A late goal from Moreno again. Pretty
And
much,
Mourinho,
yeah,
yeah,
Marino,
super
yeah.
sub.
It
No,
exactly
I
super
have to
sub.
say, no, this guy is so underrated. That thing is it's very underrated, but it shows. You know what? That's what substitution is all about, making an impact.
Yeah,
And he did. Done that. No one. That's the second time back to back. Um, what I would like to say is that the game at first was a bit flat at the beginning,
yeah.
and he's being three powerhouse like that. I was expecting a lot more from. I don't know. In my mind, I was like Doku, Lukaku, what can they do together?
Mm. Lukaku
And
didn't
I was,
even start again. Yeah, I mean Lukaku didn't
yeah,
even
I was
get to start.
disappointed with that because I'm thinking them two, for Belgium could have been a good match. Like,
I think to be
but
fair, Doku had a good game. I thought he had a he
he
carried the ball
Doku,
well, relieved
he
Belgium
did
of
a lot.
pressure.
Me, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm questioning the brain involvement. Why did they bring him then?
I don't.
Because
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
it's not bad because he's a legend. There's nothing this guy can prove. He's won it all as a player. I believe he did. Like, why would you bring someone way past that? Because I don't. This is not the De Bruyne that I knew from Man City. Assisting, scoring. I don't know. I'm questioning the manager. Why did you bring this guy in? Because Belgium, ever since they got the generation from 2010, they have been producing good players. Why don't you give this place to somebody younger that wanted it more? Because I don't know, I feel like the brain was not. Yeah, I'm not gonna blame him for what happened, but I'm saying
No,
Belgium.
I agree with you. I actually agree. I think there were like maybe a couple times where like he connected well with Doku, but in large he was really like ineffective. He like didn't have much influence on the game.
Yeah,
I felt
ineffective.
the Belgian striker was left so isolated. Like De Bruyne like didn't connect with him at all. Like
No.
he just wasn't influential in the game at all. I understand his age, but it's like you said, why does he
Yeah.
have to start the game? Like Lukaku doesn't start the game, so why does De Bruyne like? And I agree with you. I mean, I kind of think the only realistic reason why I think De Bruyne got to start and played as long as he did is because his name is Kevin De Bruyne, as opposed to his
That's
actual
basically
performance
it.
on the pitch.
That's basically
Yeah.
it.
And
And all of us in
Belgium's game
Courtois
plan. Huh?
was also injured.
So Courtois started the game, and then Courtois started the game. Then he felt like I think he had some injury on his like thigh or hamstring or whatever, but he wanted to stay in, and it was the Belgian manager who took him out, and of course brought in Lemons, the Manchester United goalkeeper, and of course that kind of decided the game as late in the game, I believe it was a shot from Kubasti and Lamens spilt it to Moreno, who obviously was in the right place at the right time and scored the rebound.
Stuff. But the thing is, for me, Bruin and Courtois, next, if Belgium were to qualify for anything else, them two should not be top team. Really. I feel bad saying that, but
But do you have any like complaints to of course Lamens? Because I mean, as flat as the game
no,
it
the thing
was,
is,
it wasn't
yeah,
a
you
great
have
game, but Belgium did defend well, and I mean, I
they
thought
did
it was going to
because
go to extra time, but for it was a mistake which kind of knocked them out.
yeah, um, so for me, both team, and I'm sure people might not agree, but I think Belgium and Spain, they haven't showcased their best. Both of them haven't, and they could have done more. Even Spain, for me, like if you want to win, you have to be aggressive like France is right now. Like go like full attack non-stop. I don't know what it is with Spain. I haven't seen the best yet. So I don't know if the fact that they're gonna pick France, they're gonna up the game. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. But Mourinho is great that he scores. Uh, it's great, but France will finish you.
Mm.
Like if you're just gonna rely on things to happen, France will finish you. So you can't afford that stuff. And I feel like it's still. I'm not convinced 100% Spain. Unfortunately, I'm not. And Belgium, I have to say, prior to Spain, that was a Spain. That was a match that felt like yeah, that was actually a good match.
Yeah,
But it was like
I thought they defended really well in Belgium, and
yeah, the defending
like we
was
said, it
on,
was a
but
mistake
it was
that kind
really
of
top
knocked them
place.
out. But they didn't have much going forward, um, other than
No,
like Doku on the break. But we talked about Spain
yeah,
and how
Doku is on his own. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
Doku
was I think
is amazing. What
The Catalan scored a good header, and I think he tried, he worked hard, but like we said, I just think I don't think Belgium will ever really. I don't think either of us predicted Belgium to win the game. I don't really think we saw
no,
Belgium as actual threats, but I just think Spain just yet again have made it through, but aren't playing great football. They're not playing great attacking football. I mean, part of that maybe could be Lamine Yamal. He's the star player,
even
really.
I'm not,
I don't think
even
he's
I don't
really.
recognize him.
I don't think he's
I don't.
shown up at this World Cup at all. I don't think he's
No,
played that
you
well.
know what? I'm glad you said that because people were saying, "Oh, but at least they're winning, they're going forward." I said, but that's not the point.
Yeah,
My point is, when this guy came 2 years ago, he was exciting.
at the Euros, yeah,
That man was 17 or 16 when he started. They gave him that spot. They gave him that trust,
yeah.
and he took it with both hands. It was so exciting. But this World Cup, I was thinking, this is a World Cup. You know how many people got to be in your team playing in a World Cup? And it's not his fault entirely, but I'm thinking I was expecting more.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if I was to pay to watch you play, and this is how you play, I feel like I want the money back. Like, that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see more. So, the next opponent, I'm going to say, might sound really negative. I don't win. We don't put up too much of them.
Yeah, I mean, like with Lamine Yamal, like I think initially it was easy for people to say, because at the Euros, of course, he was unknown, and so he played well, and people didn't know of him. But of course, now at the World Cup, he's more known, well known, and he's often double teamed. But Even at times when he was one on one with the Belgian fullback Joachim Sayes, who came on in the second half, like he was completely locked up and shut down. And I mean, Sayes wasn't even, hadn't even adjusted to the game, the tempo of the game or anything, but he still was able to like completely shut down Yamal. And I mean, I just think, with Yamal, you kind of think of that creativity and that ability to beat people, to beat maybe.
Yeah, but
We've not seen any of it. I
yeah,
mean, we
but
haven't
it
really even
looks like that.
seen much attacking kind of
No,
threat
I
from him.
haven't. But then again, in Barcelona, I've seen him. The way he's playing, the way he's attacking, the way he's he's excited. He's exciting football that he's playing. This one, I feel like non-existent. I feel like
He's been.
he's
I
not
don't.
making
I
the
don't
money.
feel like. I think he's been hand like other than that first half against Austria in the round of 32. I think he's been handled like pretty good. I mean, Nuno Mendes was very successful against him. I just mentioned now Joachim Says was successful against him. Much of the group stage, I don't think he was great. I mean, he that's where he got his goal, but even then, I don't think he's been great. And I mean, there was a lot of talk: would he outperform what a teenage Mbappe did at the World Cup back in 2018? And I don't think he's gone anywhere near
No,
that level, not
no.
even close.
Mbappe in 2018, he was a revelation.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he
You
can
couldn't
really
you
touch
couldn't you,
that.
you couldn't contain him. I remember you just like
Mbappe,
and that I don't know if you remember that run against Argentina. That run that he did against Argentina, like that was the perfect. He was too fast. You couldn't contain him. He was aggressive.
no.
But I feel
Yeah.
it's been the opposite with Yamal, and he is disappointed.
Man, it's disappointing, and people are like, oh, but at least the team is going through. And I'm thinking, I don't think you understand the point. The point is, Spain is going through slowly, but surely that's amazing. But overall, I'm still not convinced. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame because it's not what it takes. And I don't know, for some reason, it's not true. But like you said as well, I think teams studying him and they containing him. The one thing I know was watching Portugal when they were when the team when they were gonna play against Spain. And I saw they showcased that they were really doing their research. They were looking at each of the players how to do it. And you're right, Mendes. Task was to mark Mount. He did a fantastic job. He knew what to do. He read him like he knew everything, and he got injured. But that's why I think that's why you have to do something like that. Like, you can still pose a threat, but like Kylian, for example, even if you mark him, you know what to do. That guy's got some super quality. I don't know, explain it to you. And I don't think Namal is anywhere near.
Yeah, no, I mean, even this season that's passed, the 25-26 season for Barcelona, he was great, but in a lot of games there as well, I thought he was marshaled pretty well. He was handled quite well. Like, I mean, I remember games like when Barca played Newcastle at St. James's Park, and I remember Lewis Hall did a great job on, like, we didn't see or hear of him. I think at the end he scored a last minute penalty, but that doesn't mean he had a good game. And I mean, I just think compared to the Euro 2024 and the 24-25 season of Barcelona, I feel like teams and defenders, particularly fullbacks, have earned better coverages to deal with Yamal, and I do think he's struggling with it. I mean, like, of course, it's difficult when you are double teamed at times, but you can always move the ball faster, release it quicker, move in behind. But I don't think he's quite managed to find ulterior
No,
methods
he
of,
hasn't.
breaking defenses down. I think that's something he can,
Yeah, that's
improve
what's
on as he
lacking.
gets
Yeah,
older.
that's me. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna reach the level of Mbappe. It's sad. When Mbappe at 18 was already flying. So
Mm.
yeah, you know what? As people saying at least they are going through, they keep on advancing slowly but surely. But we're gonna go to the prediction after. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like Spain hasn't convinced me fully yet.
But like you say though, they are still progressing, and even if your mouth's not the one performing, they do have some players who are performing. I think Dani Olmo's performing really well. I actually think Ferran Torres is making such a difference off the bench. Of course, Moreno is, but I think Ferran Torres'
Marino is
impact off
not.
the bench
Yeah,
is kind of understated. He kind of gives an extra dimension to Spain. Difference in the way they
yeah.
attack. They just look better with him in like when he
Yeah,
joins to the
why
attack.
doesn't he start then?
I
Why doesn't he
don't
start him
I
then?
don't know. I feel I think Oyarzabal was always good to be the first choice just because of his numbers for Spain. I think Ferran Torres' role off the bench is good. To be fair, I think it suits him. I think he comes up against tired legs, he makes runs in behind, he gets involved. So I just thought he's had a good impact in the games recently. Um, but a player who's not been performing well and who actually was benched was Pedri. That was a surprise to many.
No,
And his
no,
replacement
Pedri.
actually scored in the game as well, Fabian
Yeah,
Ruiz.
Pedri. I don't recognize him from his success in Man City and now. I don't know what to say about Pedri. I feel like, but again, I always like to go back to the manager's decisions. But I can't blame the manager because they had a very good season, Man City, even though they didn't win the Premier League, they won other stuff. But Pedri, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know.
Pedri, yeah,
I know
no.
Spain.
I mean,
Spain finished
I
last
don't think he had a great season for Barcelona in general, really, this season. But like you said, he's not been playing well at the World Cup. I mean, getting dispossessed a lot. He's not having much influence in attack in the
Yeah,
final
but you see,
thirds at all.
somehow, it's funny you say that because somehow this is I felt the whole Spanish team. I don't know, there's something lacking.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
don't
as
know
a whole
what.
team in general, they haven't been, clicking, and I think
Yeah,
that's
I
probably
feel
why.
something lacking.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because then, you think of Spain, their midfield usually their strongest point, and although I think Rodri played well against Belgium, I think in general the midfield hasn't been, ticking and clicking like you
Yeah.
usually would expect. So.
Me, at the end of the
But
day,
like we said, they're still in the semi-final, and you never know. Like it's games like the semi-finals, the finals, where big players like Yamal, like
they
Pedri, they
turn up.
turn up. So
Yeah, the thing is
we
that
may have a different
yeah, still,
conversation.
no, they're still, solid at the end of the day. So I think, Spain, since for me, ever since that era when they first won the Euros in 2008 and then the World Cup and the Euro again, this there's a foundation there somehow of expectations from them. So I guess the excitement they offered before, wow.
Yeah,
But the blame us when you have set yourself so high like that,
yeah. When they
and when we
bar
see
the
that,
standard, yeah,
yeah, when we see that, I don't know. And people say, oh, but you don't know. It takes one game. I don't know. I feel like France got too much. But then again, you never know.
yeah. I mean, for sure, France are definitely like the one team where, like, I mean, we'll get onto England and Argentina, of course, but I feel like just watching all the quarterfinal games, the only team that like genuinely looked comfortable. Like I mean, to an extent, Spain were comfortable because Belgium offered little in attack because they didn't have much. But like their overall performance just isn't impressive at all. Like I mean, they're slow. They don't they
No,
can't they
exactly.
can't
That's
they can't break down any of the back lines that they've been facing.
yeah. But if you see, even I need to go back to that game with Portugal. How many times were they one on one with the goalkeeper and you didn't convert that to a goal?
Mm,
How many times?
yeah.
Even against Belgium, I was expecting more goals than in football. You have to take a grab and take a chance. Like Marina somehow, that's what he's doing. This guy, one chance, he converts it.
Yeah, he does
Why can't the
convert.
whole team do that? Why can't they all do that? I don't get it.
I also think the Nico Williams not being fit for this World Cup's been a massive,
Massive loss.
massive loss because at the Euros I remember he was
He
hugely
was a
important.
oh,
He was as important as Yamal, but I think because of Yamal's age he got more headlines. But Nico Williams had a great tournament and he even scored in the final, the opening goal. So his fitness is going to be important, I think. For in fact, I'm surprised. It'll be surprising to see if De La Fuente starts him over Alex Baena, who's had to fill in the winger position. It would be
we
interesting.
have to wait and see.
Yeah,
That'll be interesting. Yeah, that's gonna be a very good. The one thing I know, regardless of Spain current underwhelming performance, France Spain I think is gonna be a very semi-final. I'm looking forward to that one.
yeah, but I don't know if
A
you've
lot.
seen the start. Kylian Mbappe has never ever beaten Yamal in a knockout stage game. So like. in a game where they can go out. So I mean,
Listen,
France could
you know
find
what?
themselves going out again.
Listen, you, France for me, they have what it takes. I do believe that they have what it takes to reach the final.
But in fairness, though, Spain don't concede a lot, so we're kind of looking at the best attack in a
Listen,
way versus the
a
best
best attack
defense.
versus best defense.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be very interesting, and I can't wait. I literally can't wait for Tuesday. Can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah. I mean, I don't want
It's
to.
8 o'clock as well.
Yeah,
8 o'clock, man.
yeah. I mean, it may end up
No,
going
but
longer. It may even end up going longer as well if they do extra time. But I don't want to get too quickly into
listen,
the
it doesn't matter.
predictions.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be very good. It's gonna be a good match.
Next up was Norway and England, and I'm just gonna. I'll say we mentioned Spain not playing, great and not looking at their best, and it's the exact same story for me with England. I mean, what more can you say than Jude Bellingham turning up and delivering?
Listen,
We were talking about Pedri not performing well, and from one midfielder not performing well to a midfielder performing at probably his absolute best, Jude Bellingham, unbelievable.
if you remember his first season at Real Madrid,
Yeah.
I know Spanish. I don't know if you remember that, but I know Spanish um, journalists, even the fans were like, "Oh my days, 200 million for this guy." So even before he touched the ball, people were already judging him. And imagine he live under that pressure.
Mm,
He delivered.
yeah.
Okay, he was a phenomenon. He delivered. Not to say last season, because of Mbappe, I feel like he didn't really find his face.
No,
So
I
this
don't think he had a
season,
good season last. I don't think he had a good season
yeah,
either.
he
Last season.
didn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, someone who will say that, oh, they should leave Bellingham. This is still a star. Like this guy's still a star. He's still got quality.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they took him in because this is young. And you know what? Given the opportunity, he performs like he can handle the pressure. That's the type. I love the fact that he's so young. He can handle the pressure so well. And I have to say, his performance is even better than Kane. Sorry about it is
At this point.
because
I think with
Kane,
Jude Bellingham, it's a weird one because he has like a lot of people who will like really defend him and say like he's Zidane, he's this, he's that, and then you also have people who aren't
he's
very
that.
fond
I
of him
don't.
and,
I'm
for
not so
example,
agree with
don't think
that.
he should have gone to the World Cup. I think he's a kind of, I think he's good. I think he kind of I think he's perfectly suited for these type of knockout stage games because I watched a lot of Real Madrid and I watched a lot of Madrid in La Liga, and a lot of times he completely went missing in the midfield, and his kind of inability to control games and to get onto the ball and to create things are kind of why Madrid struggled so much as well in La Liga. And I always thought he should start for England or like depending on who's
I
in the
did though.
team. I thought he should play for England, but I didn't think it was crazy when people said maybe Roger to start with because he had a really poor season. This past 25, 26 season, he
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm telling
very
you,
good.
that season I did not recognize the same guy 2 years ago
Yeah,
that was really threatening. He was unstoppable.
yeah,
He was
no,
unmatchable.
no,
Like
because
this guy was at next different level.
yeah,
But what I liked is that I looked, yeah, I think I was like, okay, let me research him more. Even in Dortmund, he was good. Even Ireland, they're actually very good pairing them two. And I
mhm.
love, it was weird to see them face against each other, but after this World Cup, my man turned up.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. I
I
think
don't,
he's like suited for these type of
it is,
knockout
but
stage where he kind of
also,
leaves everything on out on the pitch and it's like a month or 2 months of just football as opposed to the 9 month season,
mm,
where he has to be more consistent for a long period of time. I think that's the kind of difference between him and Pedri. Like I think Pedri's having a poor same with Vitinha as well. They've had poor tournaments, but like whereas Jude Bellingham's kind of really shown up and
yeah,
really
right,
delivered.
yeah, sure enough.
You know?
But I'm gonna agree with what you're saying. Um, England, I don't think we've seen the best.
Yeah.
Uh, the way they concede goals, that's dangerous. Like, you have Argentina. Argentina, like, they're not gonna give you 10 to recover. If they score a goal, they're gonna look for another goal and another one. So you have to find ways to stop people, people coming at you and scoring goals because they allowed Norway so much room. I was like, they were lucky that. second goal was disallowed because if the goal stood, that would have been a different story.
Yeah, the show from out. I think that was fair though for it to be disallowed. But I
No,
mean,
no, I agree,
yeah,
but I'm saying, imagine there was nothing wrong with the foul. Imagine the goal stood.
yeah.
3-1 for Norway. I think me and you will be talking about England on their way home.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
Norway would
England,
have.
it would have been in trouble because then, like, you don't really. I mean, I don't think they attacked great. I think, I think Bellingham just again like young goalkeepers spilling the
Oh,
ball.
but waste my time.
I don't know. I don't know. This has become such a common like thing with these goalkeepers in this tournament. Like they can't, catch the flight of the ball. They're spilling the balls often. There's been loads of
Yeah.
goalkeeper mistakes, and I mean, um, I thought Norway played a really good game, and for like just
I
the
think
same
the
as
way they
Belgium, for them to
feel.
go out for them to go out from a mistake, it's just so harsh, and you feel so
Yeah,
bad for
I
them.
know it is. And you know what I have to say? Yeah, it's ironic because they play well to the end. No way. They play like every single match. They had a good game.
Yeah,
And you're right, a mistake got them kicked out. But at the same time, we're going back to experience. England knows how to deal with stuff like that because they've been there for a long time. They have more experience than Norway, and I expected anyway England to edge past Norway, to be honest, but I wasn't convinced to say I wasn't convinced with the performance.
mm.
Especially now it's getting serious. We're talking, right? Argentina semi-finals, and if you win that, you have France or Spain in the final. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't really have a very good record against either of those teams. So
Yeah. No, I think
I'm
England.
still
The
thinking,
one thing with England is they tend to find themselves in the late stages of tournaments, but they the moment they come up against a good side or a team as good as them, they get knocked out. Hence why they've consistently been losing in the finals. You mentioned that you've not been impressed with that you weren't impressed with their performance. You're not the only person who wasn't. Thomas Tuchel, the manager, also wasn't impressed by the performance. He talked about how they were sluggish. They like in terms of their touch. Technically, they didn't play a very good game. Of course, they defended well and worked hard for
yeah, but the
Olympic,
fucking
but he
yeah.
wasn't impressed with their performance. I don't know if you saw the Jude Bellingham response to. I don't know if you heard about that. Jude
No,
Bellingham
yeah, I heard
response
he
to.
said that they work hard, that he does, that
He
he
does,
don't know
yeah.
how West African playing those conditions and stuff.
He said
Listen,
whatever as well. Like
let,
he said whatever as well. Like I find it interesting how 'cause it seems like they don't have a
I've
good
responded.
dynamic. Yeah, it seems like
Yeah,
their
I don't. You
relationship's
know
a
what?
bit
I think
shaky, fractured.
Bellingham should have not. He should have not responded because now what he's done is great. Even the manager, he shouldn't have done what he did. I mean, I get what he's trying to say,
Yeah.
but that's not the way. Because at the end of the day, as a manager, you're responsible for team performance. It's not just them; it's you as well. You set the team out to play for you. Now you're gonna attack them. So, by the way, didn't play good. And Bellingham, that's not the way. You could have said, you know what, that's his opinion, whatever. Moving on to the next game. I think he's still very young, but next time he
It's a
should
real
be more
emotional.
mature.
It's like a really emotional response. I just
Yeah,
found it
but
interesting.
you
Like,
have to be more professional.
yeah,
You have to be
I
more
mean, I
professional.
don't even think there's anything wrong with Tuchel coming out and saying like he wasn't too happy with the overall performance because we all watched it. I don't think it was a
No,
great
no, I
England
understand, but I'm
performance.
saying there's certain things that you can talk to your team and
Yeah,
not to the press.
yeah. Yeah,
And
that's true.
that's
I mean, the
how
press did
that's
stir
how.
it. The press stirred it as well. I was just really
Yeah, that's what I'm
surprised that
saying. I know because I work in media, and every little thing you say, they make it bigger than it is. I think what you're trying to say, try to motivate the to look, we
yeah,
need
I
to be
agree.
better.
That's what I think he was too.
So
I was just really surprised, like, because you hear managers doing that all the time, but you don't usually hear players responding the way Bellingham responded. Because I mean, they asked Kane the same question, and they told Kane what Tuchel said, and Kane actually agreed with Tuchel and kind of gave a more media trained response. Whereas Jude Bellingham was kind of like he literally said whatever, and just kind of,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
And you see now that is gonna stir something that they
yeah,
don't need right now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They don't need that because now what the press is gonna do, they're gonna dissect what he said, and they're gonna make a bigger deal. Oh, there's something in the dressing room, unrest, whatever. Like you don't need that. You're playing Argentina. Your focus should be Argentina. How we're gonna make sure we don't concede against them? How we're gonna give the game to them? This is what the topic should have been about. Like, okay, The game wasn't like for me personally. Norway deserved more. Maybe go
Yeah,
like
I think they were at least the equal of England in that performance. I don't think. I
you know
just.
what?
And there were moments as well. I don't know if you remember the
Sir.
Soloff chance. Soloff could have passed it into Haaland. Haaland, by the way, who did nothing pretty much in that game. It was
No, he didn't
pretty.
have a good game. He didn't have a good game. That's the
Yeah.
only time I have to say that he didn't make a impact.
Yeah, I mean he had a great tournament, but as a performance today, he didn't have a. And
No.
I'm just hope I was kind of wishing he kind of, I know with Haaland it's a a thing, it's a common thing. He doesn't get involved too much, but he always at the end gets the chance and has an impact on the game. But I just feel like I would have, with this being like a go through or go home game, like a big game. I would have wished he could have got himself involved a bit more. Be more of a handful for the back line. I just do feel he did too much, and it's left me kind of wishing he had done more. Even though he had a great tournament, I just felt like he
Yeah.
kind of in such a big game, he really just.
Yeah, it's a
I think he only
game
had
against
21
England.
touches. I mean, a quarter final for your country, and a very winnable game as well. Only 21 touches. I just think I wish he
That's
had
not
done
good
a
enough.
bit more.
That's not good enough. Like Alan, he's like he's an amazing player.
Yeah,
And by the way,
generational
I
talent.
don't think this is a team
I mean, I hope not.
that they can use that as a foundation because what they've done is amazing. I'm expecting them the next Euros and next World Cup because the achievement great.
They've got a really
But
good back, like a squad back. Like Musa, Odegaard had a good tournament.
yeah,
Haaland, of
Odegaard was
course.
amazing, and I'm not saying that because I'm a
Yeah, no, he
yeah, he doesn't
much
get the
improved,
credit.
much improved. Like
He
I
doesn't,
don't think
I
he's
feel like
so.
he doesn't get the credit he deserves because everybody's oh Ireland, Ireland, Ireland.
Yeah,
Even me, I'm gonna say Ireland. I, I didn't like him before because of his Arsenal, but
yeah,
I said put that aside. I said the guy's a good player,
yeah,
but that game now he didn't have an impact. To be honest, Odegaard to be part of that kind of very good tournament.
yeah.
He
And
was
I mean that's what we're
consistent.
saying. The team, like they've got a good like spine of that team with Nyland,
Yeah, and it's
Haaland,
so young.
Odegaard. It's a yeah, and young, like we said, yeah, it's a good
Yeah, so
team.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of them, and I'm excited. That gives us excitement of what's coming next. So I think they should. That was a disappointment, but I don't know what I might look too fast, but I definitely see them Euros, World Cup. You might even see this is a winning squad. I feel like they can get some success somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I mean, we to look out for them. Watch out, Norway. I'm trust me.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll go back onto England as they are going through to the semi-final. Just we're going to speak more on like Jude Bellingham. It really feels like at this World Cup, if it's not Jude Bellingham scoring the goals, it's Harry Kane. If it's not Harry Kane, it's Jude Bellingham. But I mean, Jude Bellingham's kind of taken over back to back games. In the Mexico game, he had a great game in the Mexico game, and you kind of didn't think he could get much better. And then he really like took hold of the game. And because I remember England were 1-0 down, they hadn't played well. And just before half time, he just kind of picked up the ball, took on a couple of players and on his weak foot, put it into the bottom corner. And of course, he scored the tap in early in extra time. And I mean, he gets that a lot. That he scores a lot of tap ins. And I think, in fairness, he does at times. He'll have a poor game and he'll kind of score a tap in at the end, and it'll make people forget about the game. But in this game, that's not the case. I think he just had a really good game today, and he
Bellingham,
has a knack for finding being in the right place at the right time.
yeah, one place that's what I said before. One place by time. Because that's what he's done to make against Mexico and again. So I do believe that they feed off one each other, Kane and Bellingham. I love the way the partnership is working, but I think the rest is letting the team down a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely
about you
from an
guys.
offensive standpoint. I mean, like Madueke had a really poor game. Saka had a pretty good game, but he just can't. His final shot, his shooting, was unconvincing. Gordon had a good
I'm
game,
gonna
but
be honest with you, yeah, I love Saka. I'm a massive Arsenal fan. But you tell me actually, have you seen any great stuff from Saka this tournament? Because I haven't.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've seen like the true Saka for a good couple seasons. Like I remember back in
Interesting.
2022, like in 2022, I remember he was really like bright and quite explosive. Could be good. Could get around past his man, created chances, scored goals. And then of course he was very influential to that title charge you had in 2023. But since then, I think a combination of injuries and like loss of form, and
Yeah,
he doesn't
you know
have
what? You're
yeah.
right. A couple of seasons, yeah, but this tournament,
To this tournament, he hasn't been yeah.
yeah, I feel like
And I mean
I've
that's why he's been on the bench as well for a lot of games in place of
so
Madueke.
yeah.
So
'Cause the thing is that even when he comes on, no, zero impact.
yeah, yeah, no, I've
I
not
feel
been.
bad saying that about a player that I love so much. I don't see any impact. I feel like it's not making no difference.
Yeah, it's
And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to put him down, but no, I don't
no, but
see.
I think you're right because when you think about it, over the past few years, England have only really had Saka as the only real right winger. So, but then do you think, oh, a quarter final, big game like this, and he didn't even start? I mean, I think it shows how kind of poor and lackluster his performances have been because Madueke is not a bad player, but he's not a great player. He's not a world beater. So it's like for him to be starting over Saka, it kind of tells you how poor Saka has been. I think, and not just for
Yeah, so
England,
I
but
think
for Arsenal too.
Saka, that'll be a tournament to forget. Um, you know what? We still a star quality. Presence. I feel like it's more about the presence, impact. It's not the Saka, by the way. I've seen like other players. Yeah, I feel like for me, Kane and Bellingham are running the show at the moment.
Do you think it's now a more Jude Bellingham's team as opposed to Harry Kane's, or do you still think it's Harry Kane's team? It's just Jude Bellingham has taken over these past couple of games.
I think the past couple of games,
Yeah.
it's been him single-handedly.
Who do you think?
It's not a bad thing because Kane
Yeah.
is pretty much at the end of his international career.
And I mean,
Pretty
Kane
much.
has had to carry the offensive load and been that guy to score goals. So it's nice that another player relieves him of that stress. Yeah,
So it's
another
not a
player
bad
can
thing.
score goals and in Jude Bellingham.
No, it's not a bad thing. But I think Bellingham, we're gonna see more of him.
Yeah.
And I hope that will be something for him to build on to go to Real Madrid because right now Mourinho, I'm sure you know him. He was a Chelsea before. He doesn't take no nonsense.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna perform, he's not gonna be scared to tell you, look, I'm just gonna bench you, and then basically you're gonna find your own club.
And
Like
that's why I'm so kind of hesitant to kind of follow the like because of course he scored two big goals and two goals in the games before, and it's like it's kind of everyone's going to kind of want to go, okay, he's the best midfielder in the world. But I've seen him perform well in these kind of knockout stages kind of games, and then he gets back to Madrid and like he'll just have a poor season. I just think
no. I don't think that's gonna be who is gonna have. He has no chance to step up. He doesn't. Mourinho's gonna say, look, enough. I mean, when you play for Real Madrid, this is a club all about pressure. And if you can handle the pressure, oh, simple as that. So this is gonna help him go back with confidence.
yeah.
If anything else, I think that's gonna be the making of him to rediscover the form he had, the first season he had at Real Madrid. Bellingham right now is unstoppable. He's unplayable. He's amazing.
I think he's just a really good tournament player. In fairness, I think like it kind of suits him, and like
It does.
and he
Yeah.
really
So that's
grabs games by the scruff of the neck. But I just wonder, how that will look against a France or against the Spain, um,
against
or against
Argentina.
Argentina as well. I mean,
Let's see.
you
Yeah,
know,
because right now, I have to say Argentina. For me, they have what it takes to pretty much kick England out.
you think? Well, I guess we can move on to Argentina, and they of course beat Switzerland 3-1 in extra time. It
There
was
was some controversies again, but focusing on overall, I think Argentina had a very good game. I do think the Swiss, when it was 1-1, it could have gone either way, I believe. But I feel like
maybe even
I
more so
thought
to
Switzerland,
Switzerland, to be honest.
yeah, but I thought Switzerland at that time, I feel like when the second goal went in, I think they didn't have any answers. I feel like they just didn't know how to, respond to that.
Yeah,
Right now, it was a controversial one. I'm thinking,
but it's the rules of. But I mean, it's the
no,
rules of the
no,
game.
I'm
So it's
saying
like,
it wasn't a controversial one. But the player, yellow card.
yeah,
What for your team?
why would you even
What,
risk it? Yeah.
what would say controversial? Because the guy was crying, but like
Yeah, no, I
the
know what
damage
you
was
mean.
done.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The damage was done. You did this. Nobody else. So
What makes it worse is
sympathy.
because Mbolo had a good game. I mean, I think from the start of the second half till the red card, Switzerland were by far the better side. I mean, they created
Yeah,
chance after chance. They put
yeah,
the back line
yeah.
under pressure. They looked so good. And
They did, but
once the red
when
card
you have
happened, yeah, once the red card
that's the
happened,
thing.
the whole game
10
changed.
men, 10 men against Argentina. Common sense.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
they went from looking like, because of course they got the equalizer, and I started to think like, oh no, like Argentina are in trouble, they could go down. And once they went down to when Switzerland went down to 10 men, it went from Switzerland going to win the game to Switzerland just, okay, let's sit back and let's play for penalties and hopefully win that way, because with 10 men they just knew they couldn't continue the way they were continuing.
they can't contain Argentina with 10 men.
Yeah.
And it showed.
I mean, but they were so close to holding on.
Yeah, they did, but the red card
Yeah.
changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And you know what? No one can attack the referee. No one can say Argentina. They did that to themselves, and
Yeah.
knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
You have a yellow card, you're under the microscope. And even if you didn't have a yellow card, why would you do something stupid like that? Why?
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I'm happy. I'm actually glad, because I think it can kind of weed out this like diving. I mean, we spoke about Harry Kane in England. He, if anything, the only like slight controversy I think that you could draw from this is just the fact that they haven't given more yellow cards to other players, like Harry Kane, for example, who spends most games diving on the and rolling around on the pitch. So hopefully, because it's happened on such a high profile game on such a large scale, this can be implemented more, giving yellow cards to players who are diving and just doing straight simulation, like Mbolo did.
But in this bigger stage, these things like that is gonna go against you.
Yeah.
So I hope he learned lesson, because he let his team down. I'm sorry, but he did.
Yeah, it has to be said, unfortunately. As good as he did play, because I thought he had a good game, he did mess up big time. Yeah. But what was particularly interesting in this game for me was that players without that are not named Lionel Messi were able to step up for Argentina and deliver when needed. Yeah, for the first time all tournament.
Yeah, but from the beginning of the tournament for Argentina, I feel like
it's been the Messi show.
Yeah. Messi show. And
finally,
he's very gifted, and you still feel like you're in your 20s.
I mean, even assisted the opening goal as well.
Yeah, this guy is no doubt is an amazing player. He's a goat. He's one of the greatest. For me, I don't like to talk to him, but once Messi retire after this World Cup, I don't see him going to the next one. I'm more excited for this. When you lose somebody like that, it's irreplaceable. It's impossible to replace. That's the difference between Ronaldo and Messi. They've helped Messi. The team worked around him. They I don't know to say, but Portugal, I don't know what happened when Ronaldo, they were not playing with him. They were not. When you have a quality player like that, like Messi, you're gonna do everything to make sure we're gonna use him as much. Let's make the most of it. We're not gonna see something like Messi for a long time. In fact, we might not even see something like that again.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I think like just from watching the tournament and with his age as well, it kind of puts perspective how much kind of offensive workload and pressure he had. Like he actually has to do, apart from this game, he's had to basically be Argentina's entire attack. Of course, he doesn't do any of the defensive work, but just because he just humanly it wouldn't be humanly possible because of how much he does offensively. And I think it showed in today's game because I think for the first time he genuinely looked exhausted. I thought he looked tired. And I
Yeah,
don't think he had a great game
tired.
just because yeah, and I didn't think he had a great game just because I think fatigue had set in because his age and how
Yeah,
much of the
but
attacking burden he has to carry.
listen, one thing it shows, it doesn't matter, tiredness and all of that. When you have a quality that you have, he's a star, he's a goat, he's amazing. He was born to play football. I feel like it doesn't matter his age, he can still perform. And he puts up people half his age to shame because these guys at the end of his career they still perform like that.
And
Like,
like we said, Alvarez and Martinez finally delivered. These are strikers who play for the
finally,
biggest teams in Europe, and they haven't had a great tournament up till
no,
this point. But it's particularly Julian Alvarez because I mean, what a goal that was! I
yeah,
mean,
Alvarez, yeah, no, that was done.
and that was Atletico Madrid Alvarez we saw because that's a finish of the top quality. That's what he is when he plays for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't like to admit, but I'm gonna say it. They deserve to be semi-final Argentina. I think they do.
Yeah,
They from the beginning. The one thing I liked about Argentina before this controversy that we're not gonna go into, they performed every single match. They brought something. They kept on performing. It wasn't like, oh, you know what, we Argentina, we don't have to do much. They have to work hard to go to the semi-finals. So I do believe firmly that they're gonna do whatever it takes. They will go to the final. I do believe they have. They
yeah,
have.
and I mean to be fair, in fairness, you're all right in what you say. They've had to like work with like unbelievably hard. I mean, you look at the team as a whole. They're a fairly aging squad, and they had a fairly easy group stage. I'll admit, they didn't have to. I don't think they had to work too hard to get through that group stage. But I mean, since the knockout stages have gone, they've really been pushed. I mean, you think Cape Verde
Gone
that
into
went
the
to
extra
extra
time.
time.
Yeah.
The the Egypt game was the next game. Yeah, they didn't go to extra time, but they had to work really hard to come back. And then of course in this game against Switzerland, they had to go to extra time again. And I think fatigue's really starting to settle in. And I
Yeah, you
mean
can see.
that
You
could
can
be that
tell.
could be the difference maker in this semi-final clash between England and Argentina. The fact that Argentina are an Asian squad. They've been put through a difficult test in the mileage and yards that they're covering, so it could work well in England's favour. But you know,
Yes, but I have to say when you have Messi in any team and he can do what he's doing,
mm,
he's the guy. You know, one person can make a difference. That's exactly what he's doing. Um, Even though it's 39, I still feel like he's still playing as good as when he was in 20s.
yeah, and I mean,
Career.
I'm really hoping for him as well that because of I'm hoping for him that Alvarez now and Martinez are gonna get their form back, and for the remaining games of this tournament, they can play to the level that we expect of them because that's how that's how they're going to be able to beat England because you can't rely on a 39-year-old
You
Messi.
can't, no,
You,
you
you
can't, of
can't.
course not.
It's unfair
But
to rely. It's unfair as
it's
well.
not fair, but what I like about Leo Messi, when those don't turn up, he still does.
He's still
Every single match, he's been turning up. He
yeah.
has. Yeah, I feel like he hasn't had time to even say, you know what, let me send back, do this.
Yeah, he's had to. He's literally
He's had
has to
step
be
up.
involved in the offensive game
Yeah,
because they can't create
because I
without him.
feel like he should be the one saying, you know what, guys, yeah, I'm not going to be here next World Cup. You guys are going to be doing this alone.
You would think
And
he should get to rest so that in the later stages of the game he can score the goals, but he has to be involved in every single attack because it feels like nobody else can create for themselves other than, of course, the goals in extra time that we saw.
you know what? I have to say, he has fit the bill. Everybody know who Leo Messi is, and he has performed in that delivered.
Yeah, as he
But
always
you're right.
does, really.
The teammates have to step up
Yeah,
because right now it's not fair on putting all of this on him. I don't think it's fair.
yeah,
I feel like you are a team. It's not Lionel Messi. This is Argentina, so you need to. also pull your weight a bit more.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, you're
mean,
right.
it kind of, for Argentinians, it has to be like it must be worrying for them because they really, if not for the red card, this could have been a completely different, you never know
Yeah,
with Messi. Messi could have done his magic and won them the game, but before that red card, it really looked like they were under the cosh, they were under pressure. I mean, Switzerland were the better team from
yeah,
the
up to the
second
red
half
card,
up to the
and
red
then the
card.
red
Yeah,
card.
I
Yeah,
mean, I just wonder if England will, England are a younger team,
very young.
and I think on paper they are a better team. That doesn't, of course, that doesn't always translate on the pitch, but I wonder if maybe they might be too tough a challenge for Argentina.
I believe that's all I think. Simply because as the reigning champion and they fit the bill every time, face to the challenge, they manage to find some way somehow. They manage to find answers.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going back to experience. I have more experience. England, there's another person I don't even recognize. So I don't know. I do believe Argentina will.
Do you we can do our top three players of the quarterfinals.
That player I have to put Messi there simply because he always delivered. He's a natural gifted leader as well. He's never has to be a even Mbappe. For them to are neck and neck,
Doing the
most goals,
golden boot,
and I
yeah,
think they have the same amount so far. But I think Messi one more of the goal.
yeah,
That's gonna be interesting until the end. Who's gonna come on top?
yeah.
I feel like in a way Mbappe is being a bit selfish to try to get the record for himself, but at the same time it's like who
But
can
he
compare
needs to
because
score, I think,
if
for
you
France as
score
well. He has
but
to.
if you score goals for France and they win, like who cares?
Because in fairness to him,
Practically
I don't even think with Mbappe his goals have been like a case of him stat padding. Like I just think I think he's had to score. I mean, you think he scored the only goal against Paraguay. He kind of scored the goal against Morocco, which pretty much won them the game because Morocco didn't create anything. So, you
no.
know,
But I'm saying what I like is that you got those two players. We don't know who's gonna come on top, and I
yeah,
can't wait. That's exciting.
yeah,
Third player, I have to put Bellingham.
it has to be Belgium.
Yeah, honestly, he shown up. And I love the fact that we can't wait to see him playing again because it's so exciting. The excitement he brings. To me, I like Bellingham, and I do believe that we're gonna see more of him. Not in Real Madrid, but even for England. I think it's really foundation of. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I would definitely go with Bellingham. I think Bellingham was like he's probably the biggest story of this quarter final. I think just the way he's kind of taking games by the scruff of the neck and kind of winning them for England. I don't think England are a one man team by any stretch. I think anybody who thinks that it's kind of they're kind of ignoring it's kind of ignorant and they're ignoring the team and kind of only because of course, Jude Bellingham scored the goals, but England are really defensively solid. Like they really aren't broken down too easily, even though teams have more possession than England in games. They don't really create many, high XG chances. I mean, even the goal Norway scored, like it was a fluke of
Yeah.
a goal. It was like it was trying to cross the ball and it just ended up in the net. So I mean, of course, as well as Jude Bellingham was played, I think like special mentions and shout should go to England defensively because I just think they're really hard to break
They're
down.
very good defensively,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I mean, but they were even pretty good defensively under Southgate as well. I think Tuchel
Yeah.
has done a good job, but I don't think he's like
Exceptional. Like, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
like I wouldn't have
The
been.
foundation was there already.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Like the core of the team was there. And I don't think it's ridiculous to say that they could have probably maybe still made it to this far under Southgate as well. I feel like given the teams that they faced, like of course they've had to work hard to win the matches, but I don't think they've come up against like any France's or Spain's. Do you know what I mean? They played Croatia,
Yeah. So basically
Ghana,
now we can
Panama.
see. Yeah, now we
This
can
I
see
think this is
what.
gonna be their first kind of test, real
Yes,
challenge.
yeah.
And
I can't wait.
even then it isn't an aging Argentina squad. It's not really, I think yeah, I mean, I think if they do get through this round, it's like Spain and France, like those are the two teams which like I think you could objectively say are better than England, and it'll be interesting to see if they do win. But yeah, I'd go with Bellingham. I'd go with um I thought Paredes played a really good game for us. Oh no, I'll give to Martinez. I think Martinez and Romero have been
Yeah,
elite for
yeah,
Argentina.
they did.
Really,
We talk
really
about
good.
quarterfinals, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean in both games, in fact in the entire knockout stage, I think Martinez and Romero for Argentina have been really, really good in all aspects. So I'll
Yeah.
go Bellingham, Martinez, and maybe Mbappe goal and assist. I think we're kind of being desensitized to his performances at this point. He's been so
Mbappe is
clutch
just
for
in
France.
a league of his own.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Like yeah. I mean, he scores goals. He's on 8 goals, and we haven't even mentioned. Like we only
Yeah,
briefly
he's
mentioned it.
calling for fun as well.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The World Cup
I
is
love
really his
Mbappe.
tournament. Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
how insane would it be if he goes to three straight Cup finals?
Yeah.
Like it'd be completely like ridiculous. I mean, I think Cafu. Yeah, I think Cafu's the only one who has managed to do that. So
Carrefour, yeah, good. What they're saying is that you see, Ronaldo and Carrefour, they went to the 1994
mm,
final, 98 runners up, and then 2006 they won it. And now they're seeing similarity. They also compared
with
the France
Mbappe.
team with the 90s Brazil,
Yeah.
with the Rivaldo, Ronaldo,
But I mean,
Ronaldinho,
even
not
with
like players.
Ronaldo didn't play in the '94 tournament. I know he was part of the squad, but he didn't
He
play a
was, yeah,
minute.
but he played, I think he played, he was there in the final. He didn't play the full final, but he was there still.
Yeah, he was part of the
He was
squad,
there.
but you don't think he played. Whereas Mbappe's played well. If they were to get to the finals, played every
Yeah,
single
but
game of
like, come on, we're talking about Ronaldo Nazario.
yeah.
He's got we comparing two great players, and I have to say, I love the fact they compare him to Ronaldo because Ronaldo, honestly, he was a revelation. Just like Mbappe has been for France a revelation. And I think he was even younger than Ronaldo. I think so. Listen, Mbappe, he has a bright future ahead, and if France makes it to the final, and if he wins it, how many people, how many players won it for the first time when you're 18? And then I think how old is he? I don't even know.
Yeah, no, so we won it at 19 and he's 27 now. Yeah, he's
Yeah, how
27
many
now. Yeah.
people can tell you?
Two
What's the
World Cups,
today?
yeah,
He
it would
won
be
two World
crazy.
Cups. Like, not a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but this guy is different, right? And I feel like he will play even beyond his 20 in I want him to come in. Anyway,
But I guess now it's time to predictions. Uh,
predictions. I love it.
so I guess we'll start with France and Spain then. Uh,
I'm
probably the
going
two
for
best
France.
teams. France, yeah. Um, it's a difficult one because in terms of performance, it should be France all day long. But um, Spain have won the last two that they've played, the last two kind of knockout games that they've played in the Euros and in the Nations League. Um, and like we said before, it's the best attack versus the best defense. Um, you know what? I see this going into extra time. I see it going to extra time, and I don't know because I just feel like France have almost blown through the tournament, and they haven't really been in a situation where they're like, stressed or worried.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the same way, neither have Spain really. I mean, you think of it, Spain haven't. Yeah, Spain haven't really been down in a game, haven't been losing in a game. I'll say Spain just to be different, just because you picked France, I'll say Spain. Just
Yeah, but I've been right about France though. At every time, it's an advantage, and you know what? They're gonna do the same again. I do think France has too much. any team right now.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree.
Spain has been playing. I'm sorry, but
They
like
have they've been underwhelming,
France,
but I mean they
France
could turn
will
up.
punish you. And France, if you give them a chance, like how many times have you seen Spain 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and they miss out? Do you think France would make that mistake?
To be fair, I don't even think Spain create that many one-on-one chances. I think they like struggle to even break down the defenses in general.
Yeah, but they need to be more cynical. Like,
But then I don't think France's backline is that good either. I just don't think they've been tested too much. Like I think
they
Saliba
have to
and
be tested.
Saliba and
To be honest.
Upamecano are like I think they're prone to mistakes, and I think they could be. And I mean, who's going to be against Lamine? Like Luca like Digne against Yamal? Like surely he won't be able to stop Yamal Digne. So I mean, it's kind of
Listen, the back four of France, they haven't been tested. Don't wait for them to be tested. This is a good opportunity for Spain to test them. But saying it is, France has got too much resources, and they will finish up Spain.
I can see it going
They
either
have
way. I
better
can
records. If you check, they have better records against Spain anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, it was against a different Spain team. This is like this kind of new Spain team. They haven't lost to France, but then I can also I do agree with what you're saying in terms of on form. France should win this game, but then I don't know. It depends on the matchups as well. Some teams perform better against other teams, I guess, just because of
Yeah, but
personnel.
you Saliba, you mentioned him. Like this guy is world class. You know, he showed me that's the difference between him and Gabriel. Basically, Gabriel with the Brazil squad, there was something not clicking defense wise. Saliba, somehow I feel like there is something clicking. He can play with the back four of France. It's actually for me it hasn't been tested much, but I feel like so far he's doing a good job. Because right now, if France can manage to be clinical, not only to attack, but also that's a skill that's been very good to me personally. So I can't wait to see them test it more. But I do think on paper France they got much more.
And so then finally Argentina versus England.
I've said in my head France and Argentina final. And I can see that happening again.
I really want a Argentina France rematch. I think
This
that
is a revenge.
yeah, I think yeah. I think that match in 2022 at the last World Cup, I think is the best match I've ever watched. And since the start of the tournament, yeah, since the start of the tournament, when I saw Messi, dominating in the group stage, and like it became like an actual possibility that Argentina can go all the way. I've wanted that final.
And it did.
Yeah, I've really wanted that final to happen again.
Yeah, I feel like it was I don't know, to be continued. I don't know to explain, but like the way Mbappe played, you can't stop thinking what could have been if he had another one, and then France would have won it back to back.
Yeah, no,
Imagine.
I actually think if it were to be Argentina and France, I actually do think France would win it this time. Just because, like, my whole thing is, I just think this Argentina team are aging. I think they are too
Yeah,
dependent on. I think they're too dependent on Messi
and you see as
offensively.
well, they've been pushed. They've been pushed to the
Yeah,
limit.
I think they're exhausted.
Exercise.
Yeah, and I mean
Yeah, so
they haven't been won a game comfortably yet in the knockout stage. I think England will just about squeeze past, and then I think
I think Argentina will pass.
you think
Yeah,
so you have a
Argentina.
final of France and Argentina. I have a final of Spain and England.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like that's World Cup gives us the taste that we wanted more of that. Like that final was exciting. One of the most exciting. I used to love Brazil, but Brazil didn't do what the
yeah,
final provided.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I can think
I can, and to be fair, I don't even think I can see it being France or Argentina because, like I said, I think France are in terms of performance and in terms of on paper, I think they have the best team. I think they are the best team. I just feel like Spain um just match up well against France, and you seem to have their number in games. But like we've said, Spain haven't performed to the level of of the Euro campaign, and with the Argentina and England game, it can really go either way. Really, I just don't
Yeah,
think.
for me, I'm gonna stick to my
Yeah,
prediction.
yeah,
For me, I predicted France as well. And you know the funny thing is from the beginning, my three top four definitely I had France, Argentina, and I had Spain.
yeah.
And I'm telling you, I think you can see France and Argentina final.
I think that's
Definitely.
definitely the final I would want to see, and I can definitely see it happening. But yeah, I think
You know what?
yeah,
It looks good. Like, it looks good on paper. I'm sorry,
yeah.
even but France Argentina. Imagine people are going back to the last World Cup as
But then
well.
it's also, if it's what I predicted, then it's also the Euros replayed as well. Because of course we had England and
Like
Spain,
a
so
rematch as well. For me, I
I
think that
think really whatever it ends up being, it's going to be a great,
it's gonna be a
yeah,
rematch. Yeah, no,
it's
that's a
going to
good
be a great
point.
game regardless because it's
Yeah.
four of the best teams. I think these are the four top highest ranked teams, and I think this is the first time in World Cup history the top four highest
The
ranked
top
teams have,
four, yeah,
yeah,
that's one thing I loved about
yeah,
it. They finally, I mean, also all of them won it before. No, they never had it before. They never
yeah,
had it.
yeah,
Where all of them was, yeah, I love that. And
yeah.
for me, I love the fact that you match your ranking. You're the top four, and you are in
And
the
you're playing like
semi-finals.
it. Yeah, you're playing
So
like the
that's,
top.
I
Yeah.
can't wait. At least I can't wait for the semi-finals. I feel like
Yeah, and I mean it's been
we're
a great
entering
World
the
Cup, and I
last
mean
thing
it's been a really great World Cup, and we still have the semis
we
and
had,
still have the
but
final.
for
So
me,
yeah,
the controversy is put a little bit. But at the same time, can't spoil the quality of the players.
mm. But yeah, I think that's about it, and I think we've covered all of it.